Okay, checkpoint exercises for graphing to solve systems of equations. In our first problem, we are given y minus 4x equals 8 and y equals 2 times the sum of 2x plus 4. So with y minus 4x equals 8, we have at 0, 4 times 0 is negative 4 times 0 is 0, so y equals 8. At x equals 1, we have y minus 4 times 1 equals 8, so y minus 4, so add 4 to both sides, so y equals 12. At x equals negative 1, since that's off our coordinate system there, at x equals negative 1, we have y minus 4 times negative 1 equals 8. So y plus 4 equals 8. Subtract 4 from both sides, and we get y equals 4. So negative 1, 4, and let's go ahead and get one more. Let's use x equals negative 2. So at x equals negative 2, y minus 4 times negative 2 equals 8. That's y plus 8 equals 8, so y equals 0. At negative 2, we have 0. So let's go ahead and plot those points. Negative 2, 0. 0, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And negative 1, 4. So there's y minus 4x equals 8. Now let's switch to our other equation. Y equals 2 times 2x plus 4. Let's go ahead and just rewrite that. Y, distribute the 2. Y equals 4x plus 8. So xy, when x equals 0, y equals 8. When x equals negative 1, 4 times negative 1 is negative 4 plus 8 is 4. And when y equals negative 2, or when x equals negative 2, y equals 0. Well, wait a minute, we have the three same points that we had to begin with, so what that tells us is these equations represent the same line. So we have infinitely many solutions. Now, number 2. Y equals 2x plus 1. And we want to know a second equation so that the system 1, 3 is its only solution. So let's go ahead and let's just plot that point. 1, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. And now let's go ahead and graph y equals 2x plus 1. And there are multiple ways you could do that. You can recognize, since it's in slope-intercept form, number 1, that our y-intercept is going to be 1. We already know that, hopefully, 1, 3 is a point or it wouldn't be a solution. So if you put in 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So let's go ahead and go with 2. Actually, let's skip ahead a little bit. Let's go with 4. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So 4, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up to 9. Now, the thing with this problem is that there are really all kinds of equations that we can use. That we just can't have it be parallel, and it has to pass through the point 1, 3. So let's go ahead and use point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And then we know that the point 1, 3 is going to be the only solution. So we want y minus 3, our y1, equals m times x minus x1, which is 1. And it doesn't matter what the slope is as long as it's not 2. If the slope is not 2, these lines will intersect. If the slope is 2, then we're going to have parallel lines. But since we already know it's passing through the point 1, 3, if we use the same slope, we'd end up with the same line. So we need a different slope. So let's just go ahead and use 1. Let's just make the slope 1. So m is just 1, so y minus 3 equals x minus 1. So y equals x plus 2. And we can go ahead and plot some points just to be sure. At x equals 0, y equals 2. at y equals 1, or x equals 1, y equals 3, and at x equals, let's say, 5, y equals 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's an equation, y equals x plus 2, or you could technically use the point slope form as well. That the only solution is going to be that 0.13, and we designed that by using the point in our point slope form and making sure that we had a different slope. So y equals x plus 2 would work. Really, you could plug in any slope here. It wouldn't just have to be 1. I just did that for purposes of it being simple. So that you end up with an equation that has a different slope but passes through the same given point. Now with number 3, we're given that Xavier scored twice as many goals as Chris. Chris scored 4 fewer goals than Xavier. Let x be the number of goals that Chris scored. So let's go ahead and write that down. X equals number Chris goals. And y equals the number Xavier goals. And we want to determine a system of equations to represent the scenario and then solve this graphically. So let's just let, like we said, x equals the number of Chris goals, y equals the number of Xavier goals. So we know that Xavier scored twice as many goals as Chris. So y equals 2x. And we also know that Chris scored 4 fewer goals than Xavier. So y equals the number of Xavier goals. We're given that Chris scored 4 fewer goals than Xavier. So x equals the number of Xavier goals, y minus 4. So we'll go ahead and graph y equals 2x. That one's pretty simple. You know, you've got 0, 0. At 2, it's 4. At, let's say 3, it's 6. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll go ahead and connect those dots to make our line. And then we have x equals y minus 4. Let's go ahead and change that to, let's add 4 to both sides, and we have y equals x plus 4. And we can go ahead and make our charts. You know, if you'd like to do that, it's fine. These are simple enough equations. You might not need to, but we will. So x equals 0. When x equals 0, 0 plus 4 is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. When x equals 1, y equals 5. When x equals 4, y equals 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have our 3 points. And it looks like the intersection of these two lines is the point 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 8. So we should be able to say that Chris scored 4 goals and Xavier scored 8 goals. And that makes sense because it says Xavier scored twice as many goals as Chris. 4 times 2 is 8. And it says that Chris scored 4 fewer goals than Xavier, and 8 minus 4 is 4. So this is the solution to our system of equations.